Okay. That's actually pretty good. All right, now these two are, as far as I'm concerned, the silver bullet questions. What do you see are our biggest challenges locally?
Well, biggest challenges.
Just locally.
Well, I'd say raising awareness, spreading the knowledge, getting more people engaged in the movement is probably our biggest challenge. I think the South is still pretty far behind the Northeast and other places. So I think raising awareness is one major challenge. With the typically conservative Southern belief system. The second thing I think is to bring people of different groups, whether they be religious, race, ethnicities, nationalities, to bring more people together to work on the movement as a community, as a true community. I think we have some exciting momentum in the local foods movement, but I think what still lacks, and one of our big challenges, is how do we bring people together under that banner of healthier food access, better nutrition for kids in schools, and growing more food. And I think that's a huge opportunity and a big challenge for us in Atlanta, is really bridging cultures together and building community around this movement. I think there is still somewhat of a disconnect in certain communities, whether they be communities of faith or communities of race. So that's one challenge.
My other question is the converse of that. What do you see as being our brightest glimmers of hope locally?
I think locally we're one of the fastest growing kind of organic farming and gardening, sustainability cities in the country. So I think we may have been in the kind of the horse in the back of the race. I think we're making a strong charge right now, and that's exciting. There's a lot of initiatives around the city, the Beltline, all the urban agriculture initiatives that are popping up, the universities getting really involved in the movement. We're seeing more and more businesses sprout up that are socially conscious, environmentally conscious businesses. And I think that Atlanta has the land and has the market to support a really vibrant local food system. And with Georgia Organics and Alfie and a lot of the groups that are working on this together, the more we can work together, the more likely we are to be able to really take this movement in Atlanta right up to the front, up there with Seattle, San Francisco, Portland. And I think we're making some really good strides.
Okay, and then because I have to ask you this question, childhood food insecurity. Do you think the solution to that is as simple as, like, you have your educational programs that you guys run? Do we need? What do you think the real solution to that is? Is it land access? Is it education? Is it?
That's a complex issue, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert on it. I think clearly the more gardening, the more food production that's happening, the better, because then you're inspiring people, educating people how to grow their own food. They're becoming more knowledgeable about what good, healthy food is and where they can find it. So I think increasing the access is really important, but the way that happens is a collective effort that needs to come from government, needs to come from agriculture, from the universities, needs to come from local business, it needs to come from grassroots movements in communities that are really pushing for more education around good food. So, there's a lot of economic issues that obviously affect people's ability to purchase good quality food, and good quality food is more expensive than subsidized cheap food. So how we solve that problem is really complex, and I think if we could shift subsidies a little bit from big corporate agriculture, industrial agriculture, to more small, sustainable family farms and more urban agriculture, that would help tremendously to put more food production in action closer to the cities. That would be huge. I think more EBT, more food stamps at farmers markets, more awareness of that, more education about it is really important. And more gardens in schools. Just children have to want to eat good food. And I think we have to educate them at an early age why that's important for their health, and develop that taste and that desire to eat real food. So that's a small piece of, I think, what could help. But clearly there's a lot of hungry people in the world, and there's a lot of waste in the world. So some of the programs like the Atlanta Community Food Bank and Second Harvest, supporting those types of organizations, and becoming more, planting a row for the hungry, just becoming more aware of how big of an issue this really is, and each of us can do our part.
Perfect.